get it on your computer. Alrighty, Eddie Allen, are you ready on your side? Do you see it on your computer yet?
Not yet, but it's okay.
I know, it's more delayed than you realize, which is sometimes frustrating. Hi there to those who are on with us. We appreciate your patience. Hello. I will be getting started in just a minute with this new bracelet that I am so excited about. This is just a weird, fun breakthrough kind of thing. So, in terms of what it allows us to do, but I'm going to wait just a few more minutes whilst it is afternoon though, right, Eddie?
Because
we got started.
12:03. So
okay, since we got started a little bit late. So sorry, so I think I will just kind of jump in. So welcome. And are you going to come say anything, Eddie, about
sure.
stuff?
Welcome. We're coming to you live from historic downtown Stoughton. This is Ed and Becky show. I am Ed.
I am. And I'm not Ed.
You're not Ed. Okay, and so we're doing a tutorial today, and after the tutorial, we're going to have 5 different kits available in these lovely 4 finishes, plus the one that Becky's going to be working on called Desert Rose. We're also going to have something that we specialize in called a naked kit, where you can have these without the beads and leather. And because we've heard rumor that some of you have beads and leather stashes in your homes and in your craft rooms. And obviously the naked kits would come with instructions. And then we're going to have a few fun accessories, some gorgeous new leather that Becky got in, and some gorgeous new Picasso beads that she got in. And potentially some of those are hard to find, but very resourceful fold-over bracelet clasp. So,
yes.
So anyway, shipping's $5.95 today. If you get over $50, it's free. How cool is that? And those of you that have done this before, you know how to do it. But if you're a first timer, if you see something you like at some point during the show, like Becky might put up something that looks like this. There it is. And you would say lot 20. You would say 20 sold, or sold lot 20, and quantity 1 or quantity 2. And then at the end of the show, we total up your purchases and send you an invoice. So we need your email to do that. So if you haven't been with us before, just send your email to becky@diakonosdesigns.com, or send it in a secure messenger message, but don't put it on the feed. And with that, I'll turn it over to Becky.
Thanks, honey. And hi to Lori Wacker, otherwise known as LKW, Karen, and Sin, I'm assuming short for Cindy maybe, or Cynthia. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And Lynn Manchella, who is actually...
Out of New York.
Yes. Anyway, good to see y'all. And I'm going to put this up so it doesn't wiggle when I do my thing. Anyway, thank you for your patience. Oh, and thank you for a like. I appreciate that. You know, that's a thing too. Y'all know how algorithms work for Facebook. And so anytime you think of it to like us or share us or, you know, show some love, all of that. Yeah, Laura, you're cute. Yes, naked. Honestly, the fun of these naked kits is that you do get to put your own beads and colors with them. And that's always good. So, and I just got to say, so I am so excited about this bracelet. What's so fun about this is that, well, for one, both sides, it's the same. It lets us use these small hold size 6 check beads in the middle of leather and chain. So I'm going to show you our traditional style, which is called Glamour. This is on the left, and this is leather and chain, box Rolo chain, in size 6 beads, and these are Mayukis. And we do these kits with Mayuki and Matuba beads because they have a nice, consistently large hole. So you string and the beads kind of pop up. It's got a little bit of a profile. You know, the beads are up a little higher because on the back, you go through or you don't go through the leather. So the leather helps pop the bead up. So it's a kind of a different shape. than this new Kordoni, which is what we're calling it right now. We may change that because I'm not a huge fan of Kordoni.
Don't say that.
No, Ed says don't say that anyway. But you can see it makes the bracelet a little wider, but it's still about a ½ an inch wide. You see the beads a little differently. You see a little more leather. It's similar concept, but a whole different way to go about it. And what I especially love is you can kind of see with this one, I mean, we pre-string all the beads on beading chain. In this size, we're using beading chain. So that means your beads are already strung, and you can, if you secure it well at the end, you can take the whole kit and caboodle with you. And, you know, if you're waiting for an appointment or whatnot, you can have a project to work on that doesn't have loose beads. And that's always one of my happy favorite things. So with that, we're going to get going. And if you have questions as we go, just ask. It'll point them out if I haven't noticed on the feed. And I just thank y'all for being here. So I've got a few little cheats that I do to make it go faster. So I have pre-strung my beads, but I'm going to show you what you would do. Well, I guess if you were stringing beads, you would string beads on this. And this isn't hard. It's a little wiggle, or it's a little loosey-goosey, but you can either put your beads on the ground and scoop them, or just put them on, and obviously you put them on in the order that you would like them in your bracelet. But the thing that we're doing with this project is we need to put an end on this beading chain. So we've got these tiny little, they're technically, I think they're leather crimps, but we're using them for chain. And what I recommend, and we do have full instructions for this kit, I have to say, sometimes on our live shows, we're doing what we call bit kits, which just have very abbreviated instructions. But with this one, we got them done ahead of time. Yay. And there you go.
There, now I got my prop
Here's a
in.
folded one, Marvy. So what I'm recommending is push through, you know, 1/4 inch or a ½ inch of this chain through the crimp. And you want the loop end of the crimp on the outside because it's going to be the end that hooks up to the clasp, or the, you can see here, I'll get that leather out of the way, that we're going to have the 2 ends of the box Rollo on each side, and then this little crimp is in the middle. So pull it a little bit of the way through, and then I've shown these before, but I always think it's super important to make sure everybody remembers that you want to always crimp parallel with this loop, if that makes sense. So I would never want to come in and crimp this way. So I usually line my pliers up, whichever I'm going to use. And in this case, I'm using a round nose. You can also use a smaller pointed chain nose, but our normal tools are really big nosed, and so we don't use those for this. But if you kind of crimp right here, you can get your position proper, and then just hold it, go right over to this space, and then I'm going to squeeze gently but firmly, and I've just squished that a teeny bit. I think you can kind of see it squished a smidge, and then I'm going to turn it and then squish from the other side. Again, a firm but gentle, because these are delicate enough that we're including 3 of them in your kit in case you munch one up. And so I figured that would be the easiest way, because the last thing you want to do is learn on one little piece of finding that then makes it such that you can't finish your kit. So you get 3 of those. And so what I do to test is I just try pulling this. And since you've got both sides, and you've got enough hanging out over here, and this is nice and secure. So if it was wiggly, then I would just give it another press on each side gently, and make sure that it was going to stay good and snug, or good and secure. So, and then we need to cut that out of there, right? So I just use my wire cutters, because this is fairly thin wire, or chain rather. This is chain, Becky. So holding it back out of the way and trying to make sure you can see it on the camera while being ambidextrous. Yes, Karen, you could use Genya as long as your beads go over it. So interesting, good question. So guys, you know, Genya is a product that doesn't stretch. So here's an example with larger box Rolo chain and a slightly larger hole finding, but Genya is what's carrying those beads. You can kind of see it through there. But so I had to use bigger hole beads, but yes, that's a wonderful, wonderful choice. So I am going to, hey, Vicky, good to see you today too. How are things in your world? Okay, so I am going to get in there. I think you can see, sort of, trying to make sure. You just want to snip it really close down so that the jump ring we're going to put on can go through. So many tools. So then we're going to, oh, actually, the official next step, I cut my chain in half already, which I wanted to show you what I like to do. The kit comes with 8 or 16 inches of box Rolo chain. And let's just pretend this was connected, and it's not, because I was making it easy, but I want to show you what I think is the best way to open up a box Rolo ring. This is a membrane wire cutter, and if you get that cutter in there right at the crease and just squish them, you can open up that ring and then still reuse it. You really haven't destroyed you haven't cut into anything, you've just opened it up. And I love these little rings because you'll have extras. This makes a super cute little bail. You know, you can use it for all kinds of good things. So nothing needs to go to waste. God forbid we'd waste a bead element or a little supply. Whoo-hoo, I'm glad to see health is being restored in your world. Vicki, I'm sorry you have a migraine though. I had one last week, and I don't get them very often. I used to get them all the time. Now I get them, you know, occasionally, and they're no fun. I'm sorry you have a migraine. So we're putting on one of the box Rolo chains. The next to go on is the wire, or the chain, beading chain that has the little crimp on it. And so you need to be sure you've cut it short enough that you'll be able to get it over that nice big jump ring. And then another end of box Rolo chain, yes? And close it up like so. Make sure he's happy and good, and he is. And there we go. So this is our starting position. And since I have cheated and put my beads on already, that makes life a little easier. But that would be your next step, is to load on the beads that you need. And I want to show you real quick how, actually I'll mention it now because it matters. When you are figuring out how many beads to put on, I mean, I normally just use, you know, blue tape at the end. But you could also use a crimp, just like a regular beading wire crimp, to make it super secure. So if you're going to go running around, you don't have your beads falling off. But the way to determine where you're going to finish, or how many beads you need and where you finish, is like so. I'll show you this again when we're finishing. But when you put it around your wrist, if you like it to fit, you know, about like a watch band, which is how I like these fitting, but you can do whatever you like, of course. If you have it such that the clasp that's attached comes up and basically, you know, reaches and just about meets the end of your beading section, that's how you know you're done. And you could test this out, you know, when you're getting started, if you like so. And I pre-cut my chain to be shorter. You're going to get 16 inches in yours. And then you could put on as many beads as there are links, because there's one bead per link other than the first and the last. So, but you can always add them or subtract them later. So it's not essential to get them all counted out. So our next step is to, I hope I cut my leather to a point, is to put right there. So we're not going to put any extra leather, any material through this first link that's connected to the jump ring, but we're going to hop into this, the second open link on both sides, and put your leather through. And the kit will come with 6 feet of leather, and that is way plenty. For the average wrist, you're going to have about 2 feet left over. So if you need to trim your leather as you go, that won't be a problem. You'll have plenty left over. And if you like using leftover leather for cute little things like earrings and such, you can surely do that. So we're going to push a bead up, because how handy and fun is that? And holding it in position, and I'm going to go into my next, I don't go through the openings that are facing me. I'm going to go through the ones that are not, and take the leather through. And there we go. And at this point, I like to just double check that my leather is still, I've got about half of it on each side, because it's easy to inadvertently pull one a little bit too long or hard, and then not have the same amount of leather on each side. And obviously we want that. Okay, so I just so naturally flipped that without telling you. The next thing to do is flip it. And this is just easy peasy. And keep that bead in position. And now I'm going to go through the same opening that I just went through. So, and if the leather there, we make sure to check that the leather is going to fit the chain. So if you just pull this through and hold it back, push the leather, or slide the leather through the box Rolo link, and pop that bead back up there, pull it, and basically the method is to, or the objective is to capture that bead, pull these each snug enough that they are holding the bead in place, and the edge of the chain is right next to the edge of the bead, so that it gets a nice consistent look. And so I'm going to put this leather through, again, right to left, and flip it, and slide my bead up. Keeping the bead in place, again, on the top, right to left, through the hole, or through the chain link openings. Oh. Hold it back with your thumbnail. Hopefully we all have a little bit of a thumbnail for doing that when you need to. And then snug it up, righto. So, in a lot of our bracelets where there's a front and a back, we always, you would flip here again, but you really don't have to. You can, at any point, if there's a cord on the right, you can string it. So right to left, flip it, right to left. And so what I got really excited about with this is there are so many, again, hold it back just a smidge, right to left. There are so many possibilities here. So I've started working with a lot of different of our chains in order to, because, well, jump around, Becky, goodness. So I was just showing, like, you don't have to flip it at that point, because you're really just doing this to capture your bead and double check your side that you haven't, you haven't actually gone left to right on any of them. But as long as you go right to left all the time, as long as there's something on the right to weave, you just keep going right to left. And so this colorway we are calling Desert Rose, right, Eddie?
Desert Rose. It's such a pretty name.
Yeah. We thought so. Yeah, we had fun giving names to all of these yesterday. Anna and Carol were actually pretty instrumental in doing that. So you can see, once you get this going, it really is just a matter of stringing it through. Right to left, hop over here, slide a bead up, and then right to left again. So, like I say, I love projects that I can take out and about in the world, because there's times when I'm at a meeting or, like I say, waiting for an appointment, and it's just nice to have a project or something to work on. So I'm going to let that be as far as I go with this, because I have another one I'm going to show you the finishing, because you can get it now. It's pretty simple. And that's right here. Thanks for your patience, anybody who's being patient. So this colorway is called this is This is the matte beads that I like so much.
Wild Prairie.
There you go, Wild Prairie. And I want to show you how we finish. So the piece of chain that you'll have is actually 10 inches long, so you'll actually have a little bit more than this because I snipped this off to work with the size of this bracelet, which is a pretty typical average size bracelet. So I'm going to use this pliers. Right here. Yeah, this is funny. I got to show you this just because it just came up and it's a real thing. I love how real things come up when I do my lives. So I didn't have this end piece, this little crimper. So I went and grabbed one out of our front stock. And I just noticed, and so for the kits, I personally screen every single one of these blessed things because look, some of them aren't perfect. Do you see that? There's a split right here. So we make sure that you don't get any of those. It's a little bit frustrating because out of every batch of 144, we end up with like 3 or 4 that have that problem. And the reality is I have tested with this and it is secure enough. So I'm going to go ahead and use it, but you would never get one like that in your kit pack because we've made sure you wouldn't. And once it's in place, it is secure, but I wouldn't want to send one to you. So I like to smooth this out to just make sure the chain underneath is stretched to the length that it should be in order to meet, to meet right at the end where we want it to meet. And so we're going to put a jump ring on each of the box Rolo chains, and then this will slide right over so it all kind of matches up perfectly. I love it. And again, making sure I know my end is right, or the loop end is here, so I'm going to be parallel. I'm going to squish this carefully, and then I'm going to turn it and squish it again, and then pull it to test, and it pulled a little bit. So do you know what I'm going to do? I am going to actually, because this isn't, I am going to go get one that's going to be good. I'm so sorry. Well, no, I need to get one. You can check. I'm going to go get a 1 mil little imprint.
So while she's doing that, we do have some specials today. If you buy at least 2 kits, and naked kits are included, you get 15% off. If you spend over 100, you get 20% off. If you have a special discount, check with, you can text me and see if you can use that, if it exceeds these discounts. And we were also going to have pretty much almost everything on here on the web right after the show, and it's going to be under the featured products section right on the homepage. You don't even have to go to shop. You just scroll down on the homepage, and you're going to see the kits. You're going to see the clasps. You're going to see the beading chain. You're going to see the box roll. You're going to see the leather, and so you can also buy everything right off the web too.
Hey Lynn, good to see you. So here is the one on the left is the one that I'm replacing because he's not good. You won't ever get one like that. And the one on the right that I just dropped is the right one. So we're just going to go back to where we were and do this right. So smooth this guy out. We've got our little crimp finding. I'm going to come in here with my narrow pliers. I don't want to be too big because too big might squish. I mean, a big pliers could squish the whole finding, so I'm giving a good squeeze from this side, turning it. I'm going to squeeze gently yet firmly from the other side and test it. And there's a smidge of wiggle in it, so I'm going to give it one more squeeze because the last thing I want is for this to come undone and lose my beads at some point. It would be ungood. So, all right, that did it. So now it's super secure. I'm confident he's going to be good and hold. So now I'm going to go in here and snip that off as close as I can, being careful not to actually cut the finding. That would be bad. And then we're going to get her done right there. Open up the jump ring. Oh, Becky. I forgot to put my little jump rings on. So kit comes with matching, the finish will match your chain, 4mm jump rings. So we're going to put a little 4mm jump ring on the end of each box Rollo chain. And if we were using regular Rollo, we would probably just attach directly, and we will when we introduce those. And you could do this with regular Rollo chain. And as Karen had asked, you could use Genya. You could use beading wire, for heaven's sakes. You know what's interesting? I didn't have time to pull it together, but you could use like Swarovski crystal. You could use Czech glass. You could use any bead that would basically be about the size of a 6/0, and which is about a 4mm bead. So couldn't you just see that, like with a 4mm Czech faceted spacer? So many things that we can do. Oh, I'm just so excited. So we're going to slide all these things together. Oh. Easier said than done, Becky. Okay, I didn't cut that quite close enough, so I'm going to use my round nose to go in and kind of push it out of the way, and just make room. Now, last but not least, close that up. And we're almost good to go except for tying the knots. So close our jump ring up. Yay, all is good. And we're going to do a simple overhand knot just up as close to the chain as you can possibly get it. So I like to make sure that all of my stitches are even and smooth and I'm happy with them, and you do that kind of as you go along, and as you get to the end, make sure you've got that pulled in just where you'd like it. And y'all know how easy a overhand knot is. And I'm not going to get the glue out because I did it earlier and I wasn't real happy with the smell. I do like Gia's Hypo Cement, but you can also use super glue and just use it with great care, because it is, super glue can get a little bit crusty, but you won't notice it anyway. And I like to just touch a teeny drop of glue right, about right there as you've got this snugged in. And I don't want to knot it super tight yet because I do want to put glue in there. I just don't want to take the time to do it while we're doing our show. So you add a little bit of glue and the ends end up looking, about like so. If you don't like that look, you could, we do some of our designs where we put crimp covers on the ends. You could do that. I felt like this worked well with just a simple knot. So that is that. How fun and easy. So I'm going to move some of these things away and then start with some of our kits. Does anybody have questions while I'm doing that? Actually, I'll show you a couple fun things because there's that. This is really tiny Rollo chain with size 8 beads. I'm not 100% sure how I like that. I feel like the beads, you can't hardly see the beads. This is that same size chain. I think it's 3.5mm with 6mm beads, and I think that looks pretty cool. This, I popped it out earlier.
It's getting a little closer too.
Box Rollo. Closer would be better.
So you can look and see them.
Yeah. Large box Rollo with some larger beads. And then this is, I think it's 6mm Rollo with large hole natural stones. My next live show next week or next month is going to be large hole natural stones. And this is all strung on Genya, as Karen had mentioned earlier. So anyway, just some of the kind of fun things you can do with the concept. You can size it up, size it down. You know, we're just doing one particular size and shape here today with our Kordoni. And let's see, the first one that is available is Ocean Mist, and that is this one right here. So we have, this is a beautiful bead. There's 3 different colors of bead in this strand, and in the kits you get about 1/3 of a strand. So you're going to have typically, I don't know, probably 15 leftover beads that you can do other fun things with, you know. And these happen to have a fairly big hole, so that would actually fit over the leather. You can make a really cute pair of earrings with the leftovers. But in any case, this is made with rhodium and has a
Rhodium chain and clasp.
Yes, rhodium chain and clasp, and our Ocean Mist beads and natural gray leather. Right?
Yeah.
So that is lot 1.
And those are $30.
They are $30. And what is the deal today, Eddie Allen?
Buy 2 or more kits, you get 15% off, which would already get that down to $25.50. If you spend over $100, and that's basically 3 kits and a few accessories, you get 20% off. So that would put this kit at $24. So pretty good deal.
Yeah, very good deal.
And if you're over $50 after all your discounts, you get free shipping.
Alrighty, super deal. All right, so that is number 1. Then lot 2 is this that we call Mountain Sky. So this guy features our, the beads are blues, a little bit of purplish blue, turquoisey, and that stripe bead that also is so fun. And it's an antique silver chain and closures. Everything is antique silver. And uses natural leather, of course it's natural leather, natural blue leather. And all the leather in these is 1 mil leather, and we test it to make sure it's on the thin side. In fact, when we order our leather, we have 3 different size designations, and this is the thinnest that we'd like to work with. It sometimes comes thinner, but we don't use those. And this is just the right size so that it can go through the box Rolo chain easily twice, because we don't want it to be too much of a pain to try to get that through. But we want it big enough that it has a nice look. That's important, right? We like to have it have a, you know, a heft. I will just mention the way that, like, when I was sharing how you go right to left, always, you can double check your work by looking at the side just to make sure all those stitches are going this way. If you've ever woven left to right, then this will be upside down and you will notice it right away. So it's easy to figure out that you've made a boo-boo and then fix it. So lot 3 is this guy. So we call this one Red Canyon. And yeah, Carol and Anna had a really good time yesterday as they were just brainstorming up names. And Carol had traveled out west, and she said when you go through Colorado headed west, like every time you go around a corner, she seemed like there was something about, oh, go here to get to Red Canyon. Like there were red canyons all over. And we thought this kind of had that look, kind of the Grand Canyon colors. So this uses the antique copper for the chain and the findings, and this is like my new favorite bead strand. I gotta say, I love these colors. They are so good. And we've just picked a color to do the basic first kits with, but I'm gonna have, I'll be showing you some of the leather and other beads that you can make this up with and get a naked kit and put your own something together. But I could totally see this bead strand with almost any color leather, to be quite honest. in any color chain because they're so beautiful. So anyway, lot 3 is Red Canyon. Eddie, it looked like you were wanting to say something.
That was the very first. That was the prototype bracelet, and when Becky showed it to me, I literally gasped. It was so beautiful. I just, if she can make a big one for me, which again we have enough material in the kit to do so, I would actually wear that. It's so
oh, we could have matching bracelets. You know, have we ever had matching bracelets?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Honestly, I don't think we ever have. That could be kind of just, I mean, we should, right? That would be a thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, considering this is kind of what we do, what the heck? We should have matching bracelets. All right, so this one we call Wild Prairie, and it uses antique brass and a strand of matte beads, or not a full strand, but it's a third strand comes in your kit. And Lori, ew. Yes, this is, and it has natural dark green leather. So super cute little brass design, and I didn't quite, I didn't do the gluing, but they just wear so well. There's a flexibility to this style that I really like. It feels very supple, and look at how fun that is. Can make a whole belt with that. Anyway, all right, so lot 4 is Wild Prairie. And there we go. Lot 5 was the sample I was working on, and since I didn't want to duplicate, I don't have it done yet because you saw me get it started, but this will be what the Wild Rose or Desert Rose looks like. Oops, sorry. So that's the bead color. Here's the chain and leather color. Oh, Becky, can you be more obnoxious? There, good enough. So this will be what we call Desert Rose, and it uses antique copper findings, and the beads are really kind of fun. A mix of matte and shiny. So there's pink and yellow that are matte, and then blue and green that are shiny. And the blue and green is the same blue-green that you see in the Ocean Mist mix, and yellow and pink have been added. So it just makes for a really pretty kind of pastel-y look. So lot 5 is Desert Rose. Yes? All right.
Ask Lori what does heavy mean.
Lori
LKW. You said,
says 1 pink. Lot 5, 1 pink. Heavy if possible. Oh, pink heavy if possible. Oh, got it. Yes, that's what she means. So here's the good thing for that. I will make sure and check that your bag has heavy pink. And because there is at least 15 more beads than what you'll need in these kits, you can always cherry pick out all the pink and whichever colors you like, and eliminate colors you don't like or use them less. So there we go. All right, good question. So now I'm going to move on to our naked kits. So naked rhodium. So what that'll include is, yes, Kim, we do. We have so much fun making up colorways. It can be, and then naming them and whatnot. It is the joy of working at the bead store. So this is the rhodium, and this will be the naked Kordoni. So what we basically did is just took the price and took off the cost of the leather, which is $3 for 2 yards of leather, and the beads.
I think the beads are worth $5. That's just me.
Well,
so I think you're still getting the best bundle by buying the kit, but like I said, if you have
but
beads,
this gives you flexibility.
It gives you flexibility, absolutely.
Right. So, and that's what I mean, really, from the beginning with our shop, this is what we wanted to try to, we've always done it here at the store, but it's harder to do online. So this is our attempt to try to give you some online possibilities. So as soon as I'm done showing you the basic leathers, in fact, I can just do this. That'll work. Or not the basic leathers, the basic, goodness, Becky. The basic naked kits. Thank you, 6, 7. We can start playing with combos with chain and leather, because that's where it gets fun, right? Yeah. So is all that on there? Sure. So 7 is antique silver, 8 is copper. Hopefully that's all on the screen. And 9 is brass. So there we go. And the rhodium color really presents a lot like a shiny silver if you are a shiny girl. It's just a little more, I don't know, a little more gray maybe. So antique brass is lot number 9. So there we go. 6, 7, 8, 9 are the options that we have for the naked kits. And now I'm going to show you some leathers that go with in just a sec. But I did put a picture on our Facebook page, one that shows the leathers with the numbers, and then another that shows the strands that we have with their numbers, because I figured it's going to be hard to just remember these or figure out which ones you really like best, I guess, that go with what. And if you want me to play around by putting some of the beads with some of the leathers, I'm going to be just very happy to do that, because that's part of the fun. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and move this out of the way. And then we've got these leathers. This guy is no number. He is lot 12, is turkey red. 13. Yeah, this is going to not work so good, is it?
A little slower.
What time is it? I'm always worried they're running out of time.
Oh, 20:43.
Yeah, well. All right, so like this is turkey red.
So what are they getting with that lot? 2 yards?
Yes. So it's just our normal leather, which is $1.50 a yard, but you need 2 yards for these kits. So here we have.
Did you go through?
Am I on the screen? Yet? Oh no, I forgot the super glue. I'll do that next. So just so you can see these colors, but again, the pictures I think will help as you're trying to figure out what might go with beads you might like. So super glue. Let me just do that quick. Lot 10 is GS Hypo Cement. My happy favorite glue for working with leather. And lot 11 is super glue. So, and that's also a happy, and it's super glue gel control. So that's the good thing about if you've worked with super glue before. What I love about this kind of packaging, and you can get this, at lots of places, Walmart, your drugstore or whatever. But what I love about the gel control is that it just makes it really easy to use, and it doesn't squish all over. And this packaging doesn't get all hardened up like sometimes super glue does, which is never very much fun, because then you have super glue, but it's all hard, and then it's not very useful. So anyway, lot 10 is the Hypo Cement, and that's just a nice you can use it for lots of different things, and it doesn't have the dustiness that you sometimes get with a super glue. It works fine on leather.
GS smells.
Yes,
strong.
It does smell strong. That's why I didn't open it up again, because I was gluing one of these ends earlier, and I was just like, ugh, it doesn't make me very happy.
You salesman, you.
Well, but you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. I mean, and that's just the reality. Some glues are great glues, and it's worth using, but I would use it, with some ventilation, and not while you're trying to talk to people, in public on a live show, because if it makes you get a little bit woohoo, you don't need that while you're trying to do a job. So I wouldn't take it to work. So natural antique brown here. Lot 16 is natural dark brown. And lot 17 is natural gray. Beautiful colors. We've done this set of kits with all natural just because they tend, well, we have to be very careful when we pick the leathers, but they tend to be just the right size. They don't get too thick. Sometimes leathers that have a coating on them get to be thicker than what we like. So there's those, and then these, which are some pretty fun and vibrant colors. So it's natural dark green at the top. That'll be lot 18. Lot 19 is natural blue. And lot 20 is natural violet. And I will tell you this, all of these colors, every time we get a spool, it's a little bit different. If any of you have been in our shop or you've ever bought leather before, you know that's true. So this is the variation you get. I'm looking at the screen and looking at what our leather looks like, and it looks pretty accurate on my phone, but I don't know how it looks on your phone or your computer, so there could be a variation, but they're all beautiful. So they're just, I love the natural leathers. They just have a nice depth of color. So lot 18 is the green, lot 19 is the blue, lot 20 is the natural violet. Next, I think we're going to move on to some of the strands that go with. And honestly, this is what's really hard. I want to find a way to show you. Let me see if I go back further. Maybe that'll work. Eddie Goo. Do we have our numbers? Kind of, sort of. If I did this, would it work? 19, 18. If I did that, kind of, sort of. So we can see most of those, yes. Because, like, this is what's so fun when you're here playing at the bead store. So lot 21 is these Yummy Good check beads, right? So this is one of my favorite strands right now. It's fairly new from our vendor. I think we had this on a live show. Might have even been the last one because it was new. But then I used it in this kit, so we had to do it again. And just, oh my, look at those beads. The colors are absolutely yummy. And the blue is a little shiny. Some of the turquoise is a little shiny. Everything else is matte. And, oh, just, these have been so much fun to play with and use in all kinds of different things. And as ever, you can, cherry pick them a little bit. But then you play with them and look at how they work with different of these colors. Like, honestly, I'm a blue girl, so check that out. You can see the blue, yes. Even the green. But that blue is Yummy Good. As is, like, these, this guy is the natural turkey red, and this is red brown, and this is natural light brown. I think it looks beautiful with all of those as well. So, all right, lot 21, got that. Lot 22 is basically lot 21's base colorway, except they're shiny. So, and this one, oh my goodness, love, love, love. Those reds are absolutely yummy with a lot of little...
What are these, like 6-0?
These are 6-0 beads. Yes, sir. And they're the 6-0s that, are on strands like so, and they're handmade in the Czech Republic. And so their whole size is like small. Do you see that? So you can't get leather through them consistently. So that's why, so we've never really been able to use them in bracelets like this before because you can't get leather through them. So what is wonderful now is because we're doing them, so this is this one, because we're doing them with the beading chain, which is 0.7 millimeters. So the beading chain will work with any bead that is 0.7 millimeters or larger, which really is almost all beads. The ones that aren't, that I can't get this chain through, the beading chain, are like precious gems, just those itty bitty tinies. but almost every other bead will fit fine. So, alrighty, so lot 22 is right there. And this is this fun pastel-y strand. I know a lot of people have asked about more pastel-y beads, and I have been looking, and there's just not very many out there in this check style, but this was a good one. And you get the pink, the yellow.
Oh, the length of the strands are the...
These are 20-inch strands.
20-inch strands.
Some of them are like 19¼ inches, but they're basically a 20-inch strand. So, and most of the size 6s are $10. There'll be a couple that are tri-cuts. Those are $12 a strand.
Good.
But then you get the deal, right? If you get 2 kits, then everything is 15% off.
Yeah, so all of a sudden it's like $8.50 or
Right.
even $8. If,
Right.
It's like
Right.
practically making money by buying them.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a nice, it has kind of Eastery colors, you're right. And, you know, well, I think these are showing up fairly well. But almost always beads are prettier in person than I can make them look online. Lot 24, I don't think we've had this one. Oh, no, we must have had him up one time as a bead. I can't find this anymore, but I brought him out for this because he has really small holes, but it's going to work fine on the beading chain. And this turquoise is lovely. And if you're mixing and matching, obviously, when you're making your own beads or your own bracelets, you don't have to just go with what's on a strand. You can mix and match. And I just feel like this would be a beautiful bead to mix in with almost any of these other beads, or with other beads that you might have at home. And he is only $6 a strand. So lot 24, $6. Oh, I should have shown how some of these, like here. This guy, look how pretty that looks. Oh my goodness. This pastel-y one, which is lot 23. Look how pretty he looks with gray. Nice. We matched him up with this for kind of a warm light color. I liked that. But he would be pretty with, you could almost even, that could be very pretty pulled together. Oops. There, with that violet. Picks up the pink and really makes the pink pop. All right, so focus, Becky, focus. 25 is a strand that has a lot of fun variety. So turquoise and green both, and those are shiny, and then some shiny red browns, and a couple different styles of matte, kind of brownish reddish matte beads, and then the stripy beads. 2 different styles of striped beads in these, which are fun. Those yellows. I've just, I know you guys know how to do stuff, but like when you just pull one of those out and use it, like, oh, honestly, one of my favorite things to do is, you know how on an ear wire there's that little ball? You can replace the little ball with a bead, and it just makes your earrings look so much more arty and fun, because now they have a little extra touch of color as well as texture. You can do that almost with whatever else your bead, or whatever else your earrings look like. You can add, you can still add any little bead on there. So, all right, babble, Becky. So lot 25 is these beads. Okay.
So, which is the leather that looks the most yellowish? Lori
25. Yellowish? Oh,
She said
actually,
you
I
can't
should
see the
show
lot
this.
number on the yellowish.
Oh, this one here? This is light brown. Natural light brown. Is that the one you're wondering about?
Yeah.
Oh, let me make that happen. Lot 14 is natural light brown. There we go. He's a pretty leather. So, oh, honestly, this works with all, like that dark brown. That'd be a good guy bracelet or girl bracelet. All right, so 26, getting down, it's a size 6, but these are cuts, or tri-cuts. So, there, that's a little brighter. So that just means each of the beads is cut 3 different times, and that exposes the bright color that's underneath. So there's gold, red, and yellow, and a green and a white. And they all end up being lovely. And that would be another one where if you like the warm colors and you don't really care for the green, just pick the warm colors and don't use the greens. If you love the green, use that and use the others for something else. And 26 is $12. 27 is, right now, this is the only real good purpley that we have in stock. We've had a hard time getting our blue purple beads that we usually do. So this is mostly matte. In fact, I think they're all matte. There's a couple of tube beads in there, but there's only a couple. And so, well, obviously, if you were doing this bracelet, I think the tubes would maybe work, but if you could, there's certainly plenty of other beads to make up a bracelet without using the tube beads. But the beautiful little, there's a dark blue that has a little bit of metallic on it, and then a mauve-y color and a lavender color. So 3 different blue, pink, purpley colors, and then 2 different yellows, a little bit of a black, the tube bead, and then the stripe bead.
And it's got stripies for Lori.
It does.
It has the
stripies. Oh, does she like the stripies?
She does.
I do too. I just, these are the kind of beads where like, oh, you just love every little one. So, all right, lot 28 is a really pretty, oh, you know what? I keep forgetting this. Okay, sorry. Look at this. Look how good those look. Like with that violet or with the gray. This could even be interesting with the green. Oh, actually, that could be cool. Look at that with green. Doesn't that look like, that just looks like spring. Honestly, that looks like spring crocuses coming up. All right, sorry. Where was I? 29, 26. Where am I, Eddie?
You
26, 27, 28. Oh, I just dropped 28 in the middle. So 28, there we go. Sorry. Greens, turquoise, beautiful strand, some dark reds, a black, a brown, lots of possibilities. This is another one. Look how he plays well with practically every different leather color. If you love greens, oh my goodness, on green he's yummy. If you like blue, really makes that turquoise color pop. So 28 is right here. Yes, spring. I think I saw somebody saying, oh my goodness, are we just like waiting for spring to happen? All right, so this is the last of our beads. Yes, I think this is the last of everything, right? Oh no, I've got the clasps. So 29 is another strand of check cut beads and red, yellow, really pretty turquoise, black, and all of them have that cut feature. So they just have a little bit of a sparkle. That's a nice thing about a check cut bead. It gives you a bit of sparkle without being too much obnoxious sparkle. Not that sparkle's obnoxious, but for some people it would be, like me. Anyway, it's just the right amount of sparkle. So that's lot 29. These are $12. And last but not least, right, is lot 30, which is our good fun fold-over clasp. We love this clasp. It's a great, works for so many things, right? Antique copper, antique brass, put them in line, antique silver, and rhodium. So we get these made just for us because we really like them.
Yeah, we may have the only people on the planet that have these in other than brass. Vintage has it in brass, but the other 3 colors, we have them specially plated in large quantities at a at a large price out of a company in New York, and
so they are U.S. made.
They are U.S.
in the midst of all of what we've got going on.
Yeah.
We love the clasp, and in fact, we started. I mean, I love vintage products, and that's how we got to know that clasp. And because we are friends with some vintagey people, I think we got the information that we needed so that we could get more of them made in different colors. So anyway, it's a very functional clasp. I like it. It's very unisex. It's easy to do with one hand. It's a reliable clasp. You can, if you need to, you can, bend these prongs just a little bit, snugger or looser to make it suitable for you. And they hold really well. But it's been one of our favorite clasps. That's why we're using it in this next round of bracelets. So, alrighty. So these are these. And does anybody want me to play around with any other color combinations or show you what something would look like? I have extra of the chain back here too, so I could show you how the different chains look with them. So that is lot 30. I think, Eddie, I'm gonna throw these up there, I guess, as a thing to put up so we don't have nothing. These are the naked kits one last time. If you decide you want to try to make this and throw together your own combinations, because that's always more better, in my humble opinion. These are the naked options. And wow, I love it. So it's, for what it's worth, the way that we're set up here, it's hard for me to see. So I'm using my phone for the filming, and because of the bracket, it's hard for me to see what is being said. But the thing that just stands out is everybody's like, please, please. It's just like so sweet, so helpful, and we are so grateful to you all for being here with us. Does Genya come in similar colors? That is vegan, right? Yes, it is vegan. It is a man-made product all the way, and it comes in 1 millimeter. It comes in brown
only.
And then in 2 millimeter, it comes in brown and black. We would absolutely love to get it in black in 1 millimeter, but we've worked with the manufacturer for years, and until somebody much bigger than us wants to make, a cajillion spools of it, they're not going to make black. But I think it's a magnificent product. But the beautiful thing is, in these designs, it hides. Let me show you here. It hides. So it really doesn't matter. Like, this is Genya underneath, and you wouldn't know that it was even there. So when your beads are basically coming right up to the edge of the leather, you hardly know that it's brown. So that would be that story. You're cute, Lynn. Thank you. You have good color sense too. We need you to come over and help us make colors up. So I will throw these 3 or 4 colorways that we have back up so you can see how those go together. And yeah, I get a lot of help from our customers with color stuff, as well as from other people who work here, because there's a lot of fun, creative gals who have all kinds of good ideas. And I think I mentioned that this whole idea came from a customer named, I think her name is Anne. She's a new customer. She's been in 3 times on Saturdays, and now ever since I've done this, she has not come back in. But it's been like 2 weeks since I've seen her. But she's the one who started with a concept very like this. It wasn't this exactly, but she was using a cord in the middle to make one of our kits work, and she had thought that was how it was supposed to work. And I was so fascinated by what she was doing that it just captivated me in terms of how it would allow us to use small hole beads in these kind of designs, because these check beads are absolutely some of my favorites, and this gives us so much, potential. So What size chain are we using? We have two sizes of box Rolo, and this is our smaller box Rolo. And
I was just trying to look on our website.
Yeah, I think it's 4 millimeter, 4.5 millimeters, something like that is what it's rated or referenced as. In the market, there are two different sizes of box Rolo. So this one on the left is what we're using. This one on the right is a bigger size that we also carry. It's a good question. What is the size?
I don't know if we have the big one on the web, though.
Oh.
But we do have the small one on the web. I was just going to see what we wrote in there.
Well, and maybe we will put the big one on the web. Maybe.
So, I had 2 millimeter by 4 millimeter, but it's probably a little bigger than that. It has at least a 2 millimeter hole for weaving through. That's why we use 1 millimeter leather. It's weird because it's like the links are, it's like two holes are in one link, and it's kind of boxy. It's hard to, so it's got a very unusual link. It's not a normal circular link.
All right, so I get to see like 3 messages at a time, and I think somebody sent a note about the beads that had large holes and natural stones or natural colors, earthy colors. So these are the 2 that I was showing, if that's what you're looking for. If not, let me know. These are a size 2-3 check bead done with larger box Rolo. This is Dakota Stone's 6 mil bead done with 6 mil chain and 2 mil leather. This is probably 1.5 mil leather. And I thought I saw somebody else ask a question.
Rhodium or antique silver.
Yes. So the right on the left here is antique silver, and on the right is rhodium. If that helps, I don't know which way I had shown them before, but on the left is antique silver, and on the right is rhodium.
And then ask Vicky, she says 4 yards of beading chain. Well, we have many finishes. We have 5 finishes.
Yeah, okay, so beading chain.
So,
Yep, so we've got antique.
If you do want some, tell us what you...
Yeah, right, just write it out and we'll figure it out. Beading chain is, I think...
The thin stuff, I think, is $5.75 a yard.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
And we have it in antique brass, antique copper, antique silver, and then shiny silver and shiny gold. So that you are welcome on the silvers. And yeah, so the 0.7 mil beading chain comes in antique silver, antique copper, antique gold, silver, and gold. Or antique brass, oh goodness, antique copper, antique silver, antique brass, silver, and gold. We also actually have it in shiny copper, which is really kind of pretty. And then there would be matching ends for all of that. Those ends are 50 cents each if you need them. Yep. For doing this, let us know that and how many you would like. And think.
You showed a bracelet earlier with larger beads.
Yep. Yep.
Kelly wants to see that now. She already
Oh, good. Yeah, I did show it up again.
All right, sorry.
So you're behind.
behind.
Yeah. Well, and like you get to see more messages than I do. I have to try to see them quick before they go away. Okay, so Vicky said
Vicky
half
says,
shiny silver, half antique silver.
So Vicky is getting 2.
So hopefully this addresses
AS,
that question back with those larger stones. Not to confuse things, but you know, what the heck. So our 6 mils, oh my goodness. So this will be our next one. My next live show is, we're calling this Route 66 because it's 6 mil stones and 6 mil chain, and we're doing a button and another super easy, super fun bracelet. This is Red Creek Jasper, and this is Rocky Butte, which I'm just loving. And then I think I'm also going to show how to do these, which are fun. Something fun to do with 6 mil, large hole 6 mil natural stones. So this is a triple wrap bracelet. This is just a single wrap. We're going to figure out how what we'll do to kit those up, but basically it's a simple little knot, and it just lets you play and do fun things with color. So that's going to be next time, right? And anything else? Did any other questions come up while I was yakking? This is my first time ordering. Can I add things from the website? Yes, Chris, you can. Thank you for being with us and for ordering. And yes, if you order on the website, since you'll be over 50 with this, it sounds shipping will be free, right? So that's always, if anything, sometimes that's an issue. If you get charged, if you ever accidentally get charged twice for shipping on any of our automated systems, what we end up doing is we contact you and we give you something that's comparable in price to what the extra, or credited, right? So that's, we don't ever actually allow you to get charged twice for shipping if the system, in the way it automatically works, does charge you for it. So we always try to make that right. And oh, cute, Lori, there's that twirly knot you can get. Really? Oh, it's such a good knot. Oh, once you get it, you're going to be so glad. And it's not hard. In fact, I should ask Ed. We each do it a little bit differently because, that's how it goes. And he does it and uses a straw that makes it, in his mind, super easy. Because it's not my method, how I learned, it's not as easy for me. But maybe we'll have him teach it that way, and I can show you my way as well. But it's a great knot because you can do just two loops or 3, or like 4 or 5, and it gets really fun. But yeah, that is a really good, fun, easy knot, and it is technically a sliding knot, so that like here you see I was just pulled that through so you could see that it slides. So you can also use it as a sliding knot if you want to make an adjustable necklace, which is kind of nice. So, all right. See, I just get so excited to see everybody again. I go on and on. So I think I am done. You guys can continue communicating. Send us an email if we don't have...
Tell Lori the glue-in leather ends only come in antique brass, antique copper, antique silver.
Glue-in leather ends. Antique... For what size leather?
Well, I'm assuming it's for this for this project is 1 millimeter. So I don't know if we have a good glue-in leather end for 1 millimeter. So Lori's asking.
Oh, we do. Lori wants
glue-in leather end.
Glue-in leather end for 1 millimeter leather.
Yeah. Yeah,
I can. Do you know what? It would just be the 1 point. I would use. Okay, it's the 1.2 mil. Leather, the 1.2 mil chain end that we use on the larger beading chain, and that would be on the website under beading chain. You could take a look. It's a long, skinny piece.
That's got a loop on the end.
Right. Oh, she wants a leather end with no loop?
I'm assuming to finish off the...
Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. So if you're looking for something that ends leather, I gotcha. If you're looking for like a cap like the ones that we have for the 1.5 and 2 mil leather, we don't have that for 1 mil leather. So Kimberly, you're asking a glue-in leather end. We do have glue-in leather ends on the web in brass, copper, silver for 1.5 and 2 mil leather.
Right, and it's $3 for a 10-pack.
Okay, $3 for a 10-pack of those leather ends. But I have not been able to find anything on the market that is a similar leather end to that for 1 mil leather, which is unfortunate because it'd be sweet if there were such a thing. We have one for like 5 mil leather, but that doesn't work. So what we have done is we've used, I should grab an example somewhere. You can use a tiny size crimp cover that you would use for doing beading wire to crimp over the end of the leather. And you can, if you want, put a little knot underneath or put some glue under it and do one or the other, or both, I guess. And then just use the crimp cover to cover up the end. And that makes for a more finished finish if you want, but they do tend to, I don't know, I feel like they stick out. So the other way that, this is not the bracelet we just did, but this is our traditional glamour bracelet. And I will sometimes just bring the leather around the back and then tie a knot and have it have a little dangle. And there's no reason you couldn't do that with this bracelet as well. In fact, I should maybe finish that green one that way. So that would be, that's actually a really good idea. So all you do is take the leather to the side and tie an overhand knot, and then you can find some beads, and depending on the size of the leather, some might fit through, or you have other beads, because like I say, these beads don't necessarily work well with 1 mil leather. But so here's what one could do. So you got this going on, right? And there's your leather, and maybe you just put both of the pieces into a overhand knot and come up close. You know, make sure you're not gonna, I would want to make sure that that piece right there went through and was snug, because I don't want him to be loose and catch on something. So I'm kind of working this to get him through that way. And yeah, that would work right there, I think, if you like this look as a different way to finish. And then put a couple little beads on there, and you have a cute little fringe finish. So anyway, Eddie?
So Lori had asked about the fancy knot, and a lot of times you're working on a bracelet, and this could be a button end, this could be a loop end, and maybe you're putting pretty stuff on there, and then periodically you're putting a knot, that fancy knot on there, and that's a great way to create a nice bohemian look, you know, for your knot. But you find out where you're going to want to put the knot, and I always like to look at this as a stack of 3 things: the wrap strand, the static strand, and then my special tool, which is the classic bar straw from a Wisconsin tavern. And so I've got my finger pinched on where I want to put my knot, and then I just start wrapping. And you wrap the first one, you wrap the first wrap out, but then you start coming back at your finger.
You want your off screen a little bit.
I know. I have to be able to see it, so. So you wrap the first one away from you, then you start coming back at it. And you can, Becky likes to do at least 2 times. I like to do at least 3 times. But then you just, once you've wrapped it, like in this case 3 times, I just take the leather that would normally go through this knot, which you would need 3 hands to do if you didn't have this cool technique. And I'm going to get my stuff out of the way here. And you just simply pull it through. And look what you've done. Oh my God, isn't that the coolest thing? So
you were so sweetly and easily impressed.
And then you snug it all up. And you just snug it all up, yeah.
And Kimberly, yes, the directions will come with the naked kit as well.
And you do it with a bar straw.
Beautiful.
And then you can have a little sip on your drink while you're doing that. So.
And if anybody isn't from Wisconsin and doesn't have access to a bar straw, can you send them a bar straw in their order if they ask for it?
Sure. We actually stock a little extra bar straws because we pack these in. We pack these in our little naughty little necklace kits. So.
Yeah, we have a knotty necklace kit where we have the instructions for that knot, and there's a little bar straw that gets tucked in there because it's Wisconsin. So, oh, Vicky wants to know if it comes with a margarita. That would be nice. It's Friday, right? Can we send a margarita in the mail?
And Kim, yeah, the instructions come with the naked kits.
Lori needs a bar straw, honey. Be sure you make a note.
And we'll send her a bar straw.
Yes. It is a handy method.
So again, the one thing I did want to show everybody. So again, you can when you're done shopping. I did see a couple new people. Chris, peace out, and Sin. Be sure to send us your emails. And but everything else, if you're done shopping, let us know and we'll get your order processed. But if you can see, we're getting a little bit of glare there. I'm just going to take that away. You can just go to our website and don't even click shop now. Just keep scrolling down. There's our featured products are always on our homepage, and you just have to scroll down a little bit. And everything that was in today's show, the Kordoni is there, the box Rollo is there, the 1mm leather is there, the 0.7 millimeter chain is there, the foldovers are there, and some of the 6mm beads. Not probably some of the newest strands, but most of our selection is out there. So you can also buy these online, and if you're on our newsletter, you can use the newsletter coupons as well. Or if you have a special coupon because you've spent a lot of money with us, you can use that as well. But if you're done shopping, let us know. If you're a first-time shopper, make sure you get us your email address. We're going to be doing this again, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Thursday, March 10th, and we're going to be doing. It's more of a component show, 50 to 75% off overstock components.
Can I show you?
No, I just assumed that.
All right.
Overstock components, and because chain was so popular in our last show, I'll try to have at least a third of the show be some more chain that we found, and it'll just be super deals on overstock components. And so mark your calendars for that show, and we'll be getting invoices out this afternoon, and items shipped either late today or Saturday. Thank you all so much.
Yep, thank you. Love y'all. Appreciate you being with us, and have a wonderful weekend. God bless. Bye-bye. Oh, repeat the date, please. The date for your next one, Eddie, is
Thursday, March 10th.
Thursday, March 10th. So thank you, guys. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.